to make a U-turn and continue working as IT engineer. I'm Kanyama from NSCL. In this presentation, I would like to talk the previous work experience and what I found out joining NSCL and my attempt to bring in what I thought was good in my previous workplace. So first of all, about myself, I'm 23 years old and I'm a graduate of the Matsue National College of Technology. I joined the HR tech company in Tokyo, but in August this year, I joined NSCL. And currently, mainly I work for Rails, but sometimes I do the development using the React. I was mainly working on the server side, but in NSCL, I started working for the front also, which I found it very interesting. And in the previous workplace, that was the in-house development company, and this was full remote, and Discord and Slack channel was my workplace. So whenever there were some problems, I could access the chat to solve the questions. So we had many questions, and once a week we also had some chat meeting talking about hobbies or life. And since I joined here, what I felt interesting was that we work with various types of customers, and so I learned many methods and also many sense of value, and it's very fresh to experience this change of work. And of course, the distance with the customers are very close. So with a product considered only by one company will be limited, but with the interaction with other companies, I found more wider point of view. So we are that kind of a SIR, and I thought that I would like to introduce the times that I was using in the previous company, but there's a confidentiality that we have to keep, which made it very difficult. Therefore, I'm trying to make the minute report channel within the team that we are working, and the environment is almost the same as before. And in the case of in-house development, there's no need to hold confidential information, but in the case of system integrators, we have to work within a limited number of teams. So there is not much communication between the same team, and this is becoming more obvious because of the COVID. But in NSCL, there are many events, and we have better ties between the employees. We also have big events at the end of the year. I'm looking forward for that. Thank you for your attention. If you're interested about our NSCL, you can refer to the information through this QR code. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Suenaga from GLOBIS. I'm going to talk about the 100 team members of GLOBIS. And maybe some of you do not know GLOBIS very well, so I will briefly introduce the company. GLOBIS is made up of people, capital, and knowledge. In the area of people, we have the Graduate School of Business, and actually this is the largest size that we have in Japan for the business schools. In the area of capitals, we make the investment to many venture companies and also support their business. In the area of knowledge, we also publish many business publications, so develop people and also provide capitals and knowledge to the work, and by doing that, we are trying to create and develop. So I am often asked, do you have an engineering section? Well, actually, the Ed section was established in 2016, and in 5 years, it's exceeding more than 100 members here. And we also have technology engineers and designers, which is exceeding 60% of the members here. And the missions and visions and the values that we have in this section, I don't have time to cover all of this, but the point is that we want to provide a better education and to change the education to a better way, and so that many people can open up their new possibilities with the help of digitals. So let me briefly introduce some of our products. For Japan, we have GLOBIS study, and also for the overseas market, we name it a GLOBIS Unlimited. smartphones everywhere, anytime, with low price, and you can learn something of a very high knowledge. And another service is Global LMS. This is what we are pretty much effort this year. This is a new generation learning management system. And for the HR people, they find it very easy to use, and we are planning to make more advancement for this service. And we're using these kinds of languages and tools for this service, and we are using these ones on the back end. Ruby is a major part, and because of the high productivity and high flexibility, that's the basis of Ruby. Well, I just went through very quickly, so if you need a more detailed explanation, I will be happy to explain to you in the booth. So those of you who are interested, please visit our booth. Thank you very much.
So I'd like to finish the review of the contract, but I'm also worried that I have overlooked something important. So if you're worried about like this, you can depend on LegalForce. AI developed by lawyers can identify any issues in your contract. There are many other tools to improve the productivity of your work, improve the efficiency of contract review. Hello, I'm Iida from Coincheck. I'm very happy to make a presentation about the company for a sponsor session. So about Coincheck, we run the market for the cryptocurrency. So UI, UX, easy to use, and also the number of the type of the cryptocurrency is the largest in Japan, and we have built all system in-house. So we have about 40 to 50 engineers. So these are our strengths. And now in terms of application download, we have exceeded 440,000. This is again the highest in Japan. And recently, other than the market, as a new business, we have been expanding our activity. As you see on the left-hand side, Coincheck NFT. This is the C2C marketplace where you can buy and sell NFT, which is a token on the blockchain. And since the beginning of the service in 6 months, the number of the users reached 550,000. And now on the right-hand side, Coincheck IEO. This is a new way of raising capital using tokens. July this year, Hashpallet, they successfully raised the capital using our platform. So in this way, we are accelerating the new business development. So we are hiring engineers. Especially, we have a acute shortage of the Ruby on Rails engineers. So if you're interested, please come to visit our site. Lastly, other than the cryptocurrency exchange market, we would like to expand the new business using Ruby on Rails. So if you are interested, I'm very happy. So that's all. Thank you very much.
The company to make the life better, Techno project. Techno project is the mission is to create a better way of living for the administration, healthcare, and private companies. We are providing IT service. like the WaKaYo, which is a CO2 monitor utilizing Ruby. Through the technology, we want to bring the society with smile for all the people to make somebody's life better. That's the Techno project. Now let me introduce WaKaYo. If there's not enough ventilation, the risk of infection will become higher, and WaKaYo will monitor the CO2 concentration and notify the timing for ventilation. So without missing the timing, ventilation can be done with the system NDIR system. It is accurately measured with the latest sensor. It is possible to provide safe and also it's possible to confirm the CO2 concentration and humidity and temperature on a real-time basis, and the notifying will be given by sound or email when the CO2 concentration exceeds some level. And if it's connected to a smart light, the light will notify the time. And for the heat attack also, if the risk becomes higher, the email will be sent. And with a chart, it shows a history of the monitoring. For the rent conference room, if you read the QR code, the user can confirm the monitoring numbers. So WaKaYo can be used for restaurants, for schools, for home, for hospitals, and office can be used in various places. We're also looking for partners who will be distributing the products. Techno project company to make life better. Good afternoon. Let me introduce GMO Pepabo. So first of all, I'm from CTO room engineering team from Kagoshima. My name is Takaoka. I live in Kagoshima and I belong to the K Ruby Kagoshima. The GMO Pepabo will connect and also expand the possibility of the internet. And also we provide various web service and smartphone apps to help the activities of individuals. And the number of partners are 442. Currently, we have sites in Tokyo, Fukuoka, and Kagoshima. And for those who are working remotely, we have members from Hokkaido in the north all the way down to Okinawa in the south. And what we need is Ruby, indispensable for our service. The service of GMO people, well, we use Ruby in various areas, especially Lollipop and Managed Cloud. We were given the 2020 Ruby Grand Prix, not only using them for language, but also for Hakoniwa or Puppet. They can be used for those peripheral tools. And not only we use Ruby in our work, but also we write articles to the Ruby magazines, and we are involved in the development of Ruby as well. And also we actively participate in community activities. These are all the events that we have participated, and also we share those information in an in-house Slack. So if you find one of us, please look at us with a friendly view. And if there are some people from Kagoshima who is viewing this, please consider participating in K-Ruby. We support the Kagoshima Ruby community. Also, to expand our Ruby activities, we conduct the Rails Girls activities. There's many of us who is participating here. Also, we operate the engineering school at Fukuoka. And the key word is just to be there, you can make your growth. So we are trying to have the environment where you can grow in your daily activities. So for those who have experience or not having experience can make your growth. And for the Rubies, then for those who want to start working with Ruby, please come to join us if you are interested. Please, let's work together to make the world a more interesting place. Thank you very much.
To identify the risk and the management of remote working, we have the SKYView client. So they introduced the new edition for the version 17 for Cloud Edition. And a new normal, one of the new normal is web meeting. For version 17, you can visualize the time spent on the web meeting by user. So you can see how many hours in a day you spent time for web meeting. And this is the information for further improvement of efficient work style improvement. And also, you can manage the log. By looking at the log, you can tell whether the operation was inside of the office or somewhere outside. The version 17 has enhanced function to prevent malware, and also other improvements are based upon the customer feedback. To promote DX, and also because of the pandemic, work style has changed and more people are now using cloud. So SKYSEA Client View can be used as Cloud Edition. Client View Cloud Edition is now available. And the licensing investment, licensing fee or the server investment are not required. So you can minimize the initial investment. And also function is the same level as on-premise version. You can have the good management of security, information security. So we like to stay with customer and improve the functions. Hello, I'm Kawasaki from ELSOUL Lab. So I'd like to talk about the Ruby serverless framework SOULS. So first about our company. It was established in 2012. And since then, we covered various services, the web application development and the cloud services. And in 2020, we established ELSOUL laboratory in Amsterdam, Netherlands, to develop the latest technology and share the result as open source. We like to improve the productivity as well as the working environment for the software development. And SOULS project is targeting the reduction of the cost for the software development and the maintenance, and recognized as a advanced project by the government of Netherlands. I still remember how happy I was when I had the experience of the Ruby on Rails for the first time. So to have the same development experience in a cloud-native environment, we adopted active record and scaffolders, schematic scaffolding in a distributed system. So all file generations are automatic. So you can focus on the business logic. And the test gives the feedback very quickly. So you can minimize the impact of the change in other parts of the system. And also you can write the unit test with RSpec and test the code by code to prevent the impact of the bugs. And from Ruby 3.0, static type check using RBS became possible by combining it with IDE support by Steep. We can find the bugs while coding. And again, you can minimize the impact of the bugs. By adopting Robocop for interformatter, we can unify the coding style among team members. We use GitHub Action and deploy at a small scale, commit by commit automatically to minimize the potential problem due to the code integration. Even if test fails, the error will not be carried to the production environment. And even though we have distributed system, we manage logs centrally, so we can identify the problem very quickly. So that's about souls. Today, at 3:20, as part of the conference, I have a chance to talk about this project. And then at 3:30, I will do the live coding. And I hope you learn more about the souls coding. So if you're interested, please come and view that lecture as well. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Are you enjoying the RubyWorld Conference? I'm from Tsukulink. I'm CTO. My name is Takamura. Just give me 3 minutes to explain about the service we provide for the construction industry, the reason why we provide it to the construction industries, and so on. So, in this conference, where are you participating from? I think many of you from home and office. Those are the basis of our life. Homes and offices, roads and waters, all those infrastructures are deeply related to the construction industry. You feel it for you are granted to have this safety in your life, but this is thanks to the efforts of the construction industry. So those who make the future and the current construction, 1/3 of them are today over year 55, and so in about 10 years there will be more than 1 million people to retire, and for those who are in the 20s are only 1/10 of those population. So if nothing changes, then there's a fear that this industry will be collapsed. So we need to have more younger people working in this area, but the wages paid for them are about 10,000 yen a day. So it's very difficult for this. And just like IT, that is because of the multiple subcontractors layers. That's the reason why the wages are so low. And so we are organizing Tsukulink, which is a matching service. And since we have been launched with the organic and mass communication, now there are more than 56,000 members for the service. And the future that we are aiming to have is to make the construction industry an attractive one, so that those people working in this field can be proud of their work, and so that all the people can enjoy the safe life. And for that purpose, not just matching, but also we are trying to give the good assessment of skills, and so that good companies can become better. So a scoring system of companies is also another idea we have for the next business. So working for the scoring algorithm, and that's important with Ruby language. So those who are participating in the RubyWorld Conference, let's make the future together with the power of technology. Thank you for your attention.
I'm Handa from Sun Asterisk. So I'd like to talk about E2E test environment using RSpec. So the Sun Asterisk is a digital creative studio focusing on this vision and mission. We like to create a world where everyone has the freedom to make awesome things that matter. The digital creative studio consists of creative engineering business, which supports the product development for the customer, and talent and a platform business that would nurture and introduce the talents to the Japanese companies. At present, we have more than 1,500 employees from various countries, and also more than 1,000 engineers. So we have UI, UX engineer, business design engineers who can support the customer to develop their business. In the C&E business, we have many web application projects, and application quality is often an issue. In order to secure the quality, we need to have E2E tests, but although recent architecture of web application have seen increasing separation of front end and back end, we do not have the best practices very much yet. So we like to introduce test environment based upon the Rails API mode, RSpec, Capybara, and a Docker. And this has very high level of reproducibility and does not depend on front-end framework types, so quite flexible. And once you introduce RSpec, you can recycle your assets as well. So this is the system. So back-end, front-end, you need containers for them. And also Chrome containers because you have access with Selenium. So this has to be defined on a Docker compose YAML file. Because you can use the existing Docker image, the definition is relatively easy. However, in order for the smooth communication, all the containers need to stay on the same Docker network. And then you need to define the registered driver information of the test server on a Rails helper. You specify the Selenium URL, Chromium driver option for Capybara custom driver, and customer IP address and port number and so on. And this is a test code of an actual example. By stubbing the authentication token, login would be done as mock user. And also this part is repeated as the every time scenario is repeated. And you can check the component easily, use CSS and also XPath. And here's the test code. And you can see the conditions by accessing the Chrome container with VMC client view. So again, I introduce RSpec for E2E test environment to assure product quality for product development. So I hope my presentation would be useful for you. Hello, everyone. I'd like to introduce MedPeer Group. Myself is CTO. My name is Fukumura. Thank you very much for this opportunity. MedPeer Group has the mission to support the doctors and helping patients, and also the rediscovery of medicine with collected wisdom. There are 3 characteristics. They are created by the doctors and also listed in the first section of Tokyo Exchange Market. And we have the members of 140,000 doctors, covering 40% of the doctors practicing in Japan. And we are developing a new business of the platform. About the 20 services are available. And I'd like to introduce some of the business today. And now, as for the business, there are 4 segments: collective platform business and the primary care platform business, and preventive medicine platform business, and nursing care platform business. So the services are for doctors, nurses, and pharmacists, or healthcare providers, insurance providers, and hospitals. And for platforms, from mid to long-term point FY21, 7.4 billion, and then in 3 years, we like to expand it to 15 billion yen sales. So these 3 platforms I mentioned, and also additionally, we are introducing the nurse care, the platform business. And as for the size of the organization, currently about 100 the members. We have engineer team for each business group, but also CTO covers entire section, supporting SIs and other basic aspects. Lastly, engineering. As for the development, well, I skipped this part. HLT is a focus, and also flexible work style. And as for the environmental, the MacBook Pro, and also as a support up to 120,000 yen, we support the skill up of engineers.